We're back with Joshua Smith. We're talking about note taking because you mentioned earlier said I'll add that to my notes of the day or day notes.
Yeah.
So how do you do your notes? Like how much notes are you taking in a day if you have day notes?
I pretty much, if I was to say, who did I talk to last week? What did we talk about? I want to be able to look up on that day and know what I said, or be able to, search in OneNote. So I kind of have two different note taking styles in OneNote. One, I kind of have my primary one where I've got like tabs about training and projects and sales and tech and demo. And then I have another section just called log. And I usually just make that one per year. And then the tabs, if you're a OneNoter, you'll understand this. And I've got tabs across the top, one for each month. And then in each of those tabs are pages. And I have a page for every day of the week. So right now, the tab I'm on is Nov for November. And then I've got pages, and I name the pages the day, the number. So like it's 19-THU. So I can just quickly look over, and it's all ranked based on the date, right? So 17, 18, 19, Thursday. And then I'll put in the time that my meeting started, the topic of my meeting, and the time the meeting ended. And I've got a little paragraph where I have who is all on the meeting. And then I just start taking bullet point notes about what we're talking about. So if we're on with a new prospect, I've got the person's name, I've got their LinkedIn URL, and then what's their position, how long they've been there. And then I just listen to what they're saying, because the sales rep does the majority of the initial talking. They do the majority of the initial discovery. So I'm just there like taking bullet points. Did they have any recent mergers and acquisitions? How big is their company? What's their focus for the coming year? What kind of budgets they have? What do their C-levels care about? What do they care about? What's their environment like? What are they using for a firewall? Do they have remote workers? Are they doing VPNs? Are they in Office 365? All these things that eventually kind of highlight green, because search in OneNote turns everything yellow. So I originally highlighted things in yellow. Horrible, because when you do a search, it takes you to a page, there's all these yellow things. You're like, wait, what did I search for? So I have a highlighted different color, and I highlight things that I'm going to touch on in the demo. Because ideally, if I said, earlier you asked me if there's one thing I could change, it would be that sales reps would believe in me. And when I say the first call should be about discovery and just an overview of the company, the second call should be a tailored demo and a tailored presentation based on the discovery from the first call. Is it ever going to happen? I don't know. But so I have to kind of live demo. So I'm taking notes, I'm highlighting things, okay, they've got, they're in OneDrive. They hate, local storage. They really want to protect their executives. How can I work that into the meeting? And then I try to squeeze in. I usually get one discovery question before we jump into the demo. I say, out of data security, compliance, and threat detection response, how would you prioritize those 1, 2, and 3? And based on how they answer, that's how I try to steer the demo. Okay. And then I jump into the demo. Obviously, I can't take notes because I'm doing a demo, but then we have kind of the post demo. If I have someone jump in and kind of help me out on the demo, I see what they're doing, I take those notes. So if my screen is not being shared, I am taking notes.
Okay. All right. Hold on. So you have all the notes for all the meetings in one day in one page.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep.
You also have additional notes, like you and I were talking. I said something at the start. You said, oh, bigger pockets. We were talking about bigger pockets.
Yeah.
Which is in Denver. Mm-hmm. And you said, oh, let me add that to my day notes. So you just take random notes throughout the day in that page as well?
Yeah. So I've got, what did I think of? Who did I talk to? Like, because I'm new to the Denver area. So one of my first meetings with the customer, they were just telling me all the cool breweries and brew pubs and things to go to. That, I know I can look at my calendar and see when I talk to those folks. I can now go back into my notes and see all those great brew pub things I got to hit up.
So is that okay? Unrelated. Is that what you used? Did you use the fact that you're new to Denver to build relationships?
100%. Oh, hey, I'm the new guy. Do you guys know of any good places to grab a pint? Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Any place where I can take my wife so she's happy with me, so she won't leave me?
Is there a good dinner spot in your city? I know we want to go check out the local towns. What can you tell me? Oh, no. The new guy card, I'd use the hell out of that. Because listen, it's a hindrance, right? So why can't I also use it as a perk as well?
Yeah. All right. So in terms of your notes, like, let me try to picture it.
Yeah.
I use Evernote. I don't use OneNote.
Yeah.
But you basically have one notebook per year.
for my daily notes. Yes.
And then one notebook for training, or other notebooks for training and that sort of thing.
Other notebooks. So I've also got like a client's notebook where I've got one notebook and I got one tab for each client where I put in like specific things. Like I've got a page about their environment. I've got a page about, who they are, their background, just kind of, kind of stuff just to kind of refresh my memory, because once you get past a certain number of clients, you're not going to be able to keep that all in your head. And I learned that a long time ago that my head is too chaotic for me to be able to keep these things in. So I got one note for clients, one note for like business related stuff. So I just reach into my tabs for my business, training, company, projects, sales, tech, demo, security, or platform, that kind of stuff. So I can kind of put all my stuff in there. And then under training, I've got notes from all my trainings I took, notes from all, my Black Hills webinars that I watched, stuff about Office 365.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. So you have one notebook for taking notes during the day.
Yes.
And then you have other notebooks to kind of clear up those notes and put them like per client.
Yeah.
Talking about their environment.
So, okay, if you want to go down the rabbit hole, how I do that, I'll tell you. So I've got my client's, notebook. So I've got my client here I'm looking at right now, and I had a meeting with them the other day. So what I do is I live in my log, my current day log. So I write everything out, and at the end of the day, I go back and go, okay, I talked to, company ABC today. I've got a page for them. I copy it, I paste it over in that client's notebook, and then I can create a link and I put that in my daily log, so that there's a big link that says 8 a.m. I talked to company XYZ about this. And then I know I talked to them on Thursday. I can go there Thursday and say, oh, there's a link. I click on it. It'll take me to my full expanded notes. So you can kind of create intra notebook links, right? So I don't want to lose the timeline, but also if my boss asks me, hey, where are we at with company XYZ? I can jump over to their tab and go, oh, the last thing we talked about is this, that, and the other. And of course, all of this to make the salespeople happy, I just copy and paste this into a Salesforce note as well. So I write it once, but I essentially have it in multiple places. Is this the most efficient way? I don't know, but it works for me.
It works for you. Like I have
Dan back at Wheelhouse IT a while ago. He did this. He introduced me to the daily notebook because I was struggling. I was struggling to remember things. I was struggling to keep everything in a one cohesive place. And I saw what he did and I started to do it. And it made me feel better. It made me feel more in control about my day and my tasks, and just the ability to say, what's the last thing I talked to this customer about?
So are you taking action items in the daily notes as well?
Yeah, it's all I put at the bottom, I type WITNS. What is the next step? And I create a little bullet points, and I can create a little checkbox in OneNote. So as I do it, I can tick it off. And if I don't get it done that day, I go into Outlook and I create a task.
Okay. All right. So I was going to ask, how do you track it? Because, I take notes all day long. I have action items. And if I don't move them, put them somewhere, I'm going to forget them, because I'm never going to go back to that page unless like someone asks me a question. But
yeah, I was thinking about adding a tab kind of called to do in my in my log, that I could, if I didn't get it done that day, I could move it into. I tried that once and I kind of started to fall behind a little bit more, and it's there's no perfect system, but I try to embrace the platform that I'm given, and the platform I'm given is Office 365. So I'm trying to make that a thing, right? And as more and more of like OneNote starts to tie into Outlook and all these kind of things, I'm trying to take advantage of that. It's super sloppy, right? But you go to war with with the tools you're given, right? And so that's the tools I'm given. And I know Evernote, I mean, people will go to bat for Evernote. There's fanatics for Evernote, and I get it, right? People love it. I just decided to play in the sandbox, right?
No, I like Evernote. I prefer it more than OneNote, but I don't think it really matters. I recommend Evernote, but you can really use OneNote.
Taking notes, that's what matters.
Yeah, and I like adding tasks into calendars. I'm an advocate for that, and because if it's not in my calendar, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And let's say my task was follow up with PM about these certain specs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I send them an email. I followed up. Now I can simply move the task from like today's Thursday to Friday at whatever time to follow up again, make sure that I get those specs. Otherwise, because hey, I followed up and I put a tick in the checkbox, but I never got an answer. And the point isn't the task isn't actually to follow up. The task is to get an answer and share it with the customer.
It isn't to start the task, it's to finish the task.
Yeah. So yeah, like I like that, and that's what I use.
And I really like, in the same vein, I really like color coding my calendar. So you know how you can go in Office and you can categorize different things. I create like at office, at phone, at computer. So I know where I need to be for this upcoming call. Is it like for this one, I put at office because I want to be in my office for this. But if it's like listening to like a staff call or whatever, that could be either at phone or at computer. So I could be upstairs or I could be outside with my computer listening to a staff call, because it's not going to require me to be like in the captain's chair. Those kind of things.
Nice.
Just finding little tips and tricks and just using what works for you. Don't use anything that creates more problems than it solves.
Yeah.
Right. So trim it down, make it your own.
Just, the thing is,
life easier.
Yeah. The thing is, you'll never know until you try something. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't be afraid. Like you said, don't be afraid to fail. Right. What we're talking about.
Yeah.
Do all the things, break all the things, and use what works for you.
And learn from it. It's like if you keep failing and not learning from it, that is a problem. But,
that's something entirely different.
Yeah, I am, man.
Yeah,
I think this was great. Thanks.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I had a great time. I like talking, with peers and just getting some of the stuff out of my head and onto digital paper, if you will. Because sometimes you say things and you're just like, wow, I say I do that. I should really do that more often, right?
Yes, I know. It's like I kind of have a podcast all about how to become a better SE, and it's like I said that I did that, and I did at one point, but now I forgot to do that. Maybe I should get back to doing it. So that was great.
Do it again. Jump back on that horse.